Welcome back to TMZ Sports. I'm your host, Mojo Muhtadi, and today I am joined by Emmy Award winner Paul Walter Hauser ahead of his big match with Matt Cardona this Saturday, March 16th at PW Revolver, Ready or Not. Paul, how we doing, brother? How we feeling?
Oh man, I'm feeling like Mojo. I'm like ready to hit some dudes, and I'm ready to put the eye black underneath the eyeballs. I'm just really lucky that I get to do this. That these guys are taking a shot on me, and it's fun to have people take a shot on you. It's not as fun to have people take a shot at you, and that's sort of what I've been dealing with your boy Matt Cardona.
Yeah, my boy indeed. Trash talking Matt Cardona is maybe my favorite thing to do on the planet. We actually had him on the show not too long ago to talk about this match. He was running his
Oh, I
mouth.
saw. I saw. I got smartened up real quick. I had people texting me that clip all morning.
Well, it was only fair to get you on, man. So let's just dive right into this. You're going to be wrestling for PW Revolver. You're going to be working over there with Sami Callihan, a good friend of mine from back in the NXT days. But how did this match come to be? How has training gone? Peel back the curtain on this thing a little bit.
Yeah, well. First off, I just got to put over the company. What PW Revolver is doing right now is pretty stupendous. I feel like them and GCW to some degree, and some of these other companies are kind of picking up where PWG left off. And so I'm a fan of the product. And they came to Los Angeles. Sammy hit me up and was like, "Hey, buddy, we're mutual fans. We say what up on Instagram." And he said, "Come by and help us do this charity show. We got Moxley, Ronda Rousey, killer lineup." And I said, "Of course, man." And then like a week or 10 days later, he says, "You want to do a match?" And I'm thinking, I was planning on showing up as a little cameo thing and maybe sign some autographs and do some photo ops or whatever, but it turned into a match. And he put me in there with Matthew Palmer, who's a great worker, safe guy, and such a tremendous character, and really funny, and kind of just like a veteran, that guy. And then I had a blast doing it, and I've been taking classes with guys on the indie circuit like Darian Bankston, who's done some AEW Dark, and then guys like Anthony Agogo, Preston Vance. These guys just kind of gave me a shot and said, "Let's bring you in the ring. Let's play around. Let's see if you can take some bumps." And I could take the bumps. And then I started eating a little bit healthier, started getting in the gym and having fun with it. And then I kind of partnered with Paul London, who's been training me the last couple of months. And I only had 25, 30 hours of wrestling training under my belt total. But I feel it's in my DNA a little bit because I grew up watching it like most young men watch the NFL. It's in my blood. It's in my head.
That's fantastic, man. I mean, look, I saw the first match. Love that finish, too. That finish was $1 million. I definitely like to see that. Now you got Matt Cardona. This has been a guy that's it's been all over, right? He's had his run with WWE, but more impressively, and I mean, how many people can you say that about, was more impressive afterwards on the indie circuits than in his time with WWE, where he won titles. How do you prepare for a guy like that? Obviously, you're coming in with some limited training time, but you do have that first match under your belt, which is massive. How have you catered your training to Matt Cardona's game?
Yeah, no, to be real and to put him over, I think Zach turned Matt is a guy who has A-lister, looks. He's got that look of the Brad Pitt, the Chris Evans, what have you. But he's sort of got the character actor in him like me. He can do the comedy stuff. He can get in your face and get ugly. He can do a death match with Nick Gage. Like he really is versatile and has proven himself, especially since leaving that shack in Connecticut. So I think it's a unique opportunity to dance with this dude. But it was very much a thing of Sammy was booking the show, and he's like, "What about you and Cardona?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, that'd be amazing. I think I'd really enjoy that." And then immediately when he got wind of it, it was like, "Oh, that fat slob, yeah, he's entertaining on Cobra Kai, but I don't know that. I think he's going to be blown up during his entrance." You know what I mean? he was giving no love to Paul Hauser the way I was giving love to Matt Cardona. So how do I prepare for a guy like that? I've said it before in the Chris Van Vliet interview. It's about focus. I don't need to be Dean Malenko and know 1,000 holds. I need to be Paul Hauser, and I've studied tape on Matt, and I know when the boot's coming. I know when he's trying to cheat. I know when he's trying to play possum. I've watched him. I know. So I think he's underestimating me, man, and I think that's to my advantage.
Funny, real funny. He's talking about you getting blown up on the entrance, because I used to blow his ass up on our Hype Bros entrance every single match. I know how much he hated that. You mentioned Cobra Kai. I saw the video you put together of all of his favorite people burying him, talking trash. I know how big of a fan of that show he is. So to watch that was probably a dream come true in some ways, but so painful in others. Your co-stars on the show, are they big wrestling fans too? Are they hyped up about this match? Maybe we see them show up on Saturday.
I mean, a big part of Cobra Kai and shows like it. I did another show called Kingdom back in the day, which was all about MMA with Frank Grillo and Nick Jonas and all these guys. And more than anything, actors appreciate the athleticism and the fact that there's so much to kind of multitask in your brain. There's a lot of mental multitasking going on in a wrestling ring, more than I even anticipated. So it's kind of like you're playing a sport or doing like gymnastics or dancing while also trying not to get the crap kicked out of you, while also having to improvise if something goes wrong. It's like you're having to do a lot, and those guys really respect the hell out of what professional wrestlers do. I will say there are certain people in Hollywood who have a great affection for professional wrestling. Like my buddy Sebastian Stan is a big WWF 1990s mark. He talks about Bam Bam Bigelow and Luger and Mr. Perfect all the time. And my buddy Clark Duke, guys like O'Shea Jackson Jr. So there are a lot of guys who really appreciate and admire what's being done in the squared circle, man.
Well, here's a question for you too. I mean, look, we've talked about you going from acting to wrestling. Let's talk about the wrestling to acting side. Matt Cardona, how would he fare in Hollywood? You know, TV shows, movies. How would that transition look like for him to go into your world?
Yeah, you know, I would invite him with open arms into Hollywood. I could see him doing something like a procedural, playing kind of a hotshot cop type of guy, like a cocky cop, or I could see him doing something in the military. He looks like a guy who definitely could have played like a Marine or an Army Ranger. So I'd say action or maybe a comedy, because wrestlers also know how to commit. And as has been proven time and again, much of comedy outside of things like timing, it's all due in part to commitment. And so, yeah, I would invite him into Hollywood. And that's something I said during my Chris Van Vliet interview. I said, a lot of these wrestlers are like, what the hell is this fat idiot doing walking into our world? And I would not have the same attitudinal stance if any of you came into my world. I would greet you and try to help. So, you know, I'm at the point where if you want to be friends, let's be friends. But if you don't want to be, get out of my way, man. I'm ready to do it for real.
Well, look, man, we see celebrities come into wrestling all the time. You know, the fans always receive them different ways. For you, it's been nothing but love. Everyone can see that you're a lifelong fan, that you want to be here, that you've been training really hard. You went about this the right way. You started from the bottom and worked your way up, and that is how to win the hearts of wrestling fans. So Saturday, man, this is going to be a match that is so well received. And as someone that has personally never lost to Matt Cardona, I've only kicked the crap out of him in the past. Let me tell you, bro, that ego is a weakness. He's always worried about his looks and all of that crap. So that's something you can take advantage of. Any parting shots, any last comments to Cardona before this thing goes down?
You know what, man? I appreciate your words and your advice and your know-how. It's definitely welcome for me coming Saturday. I think, you know, put it this way, I have no delusions of grandeur. I don't imagine being at WrestleMania. I don't imagine being a guy who ever holds any title except maybe the 24/7 if they bring that back. I just know one thing. I respect the business. I'm learning the craft, and I should definitely not be underestimated. So to you, Matt Cardona, I know you're watching. You're probably Googling yourself 86 times a day, and you'll find this link. So I'm telling you, do not underestimate me, or maybe you should, because then I will come up with the 1, 2, 3, be it a knockout elbow, a small package, double entendre. Matt also has a small package, and
Yes.
I look forward. Yeah, whether it's a foreign object or it's just my fist to your chest on that 6-inch punch. I'm very excited to introduce myself to you, not by way of Hollywood, but by way of professional wrestling.
Well, brother, if you get in any trouble this weekend, give me a shout, bro. I got unfinished business with that guy myself, and we obviously know how deep that man can run. But Paul, thank you so much for coming on the show, bro. This has been a ton of fun. Again, March 16th, PW Revolver, Paul Walter Hauser, Matt Cardona. This is going to be one for the ages. Paul, thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother, man. Order that pay-per-view, people. It's going to be worth it.